Kyra watched as the ripples of her warning spread across Earth. From her vantage point in the Matrix, she could see the world react in real time. The first few hours after her message had been chaotic. Leaders, scientists, and ordinary citizens alike were confused, their screens flashing warnings they couldn't yet comprehend. The idea that an unseen force, an asteroid, was barreling toward them at unimaginable speeds had sent shockwaves through the global psyche. But as the dust of the initial panic began to settle, something new began to take shape. Kyra could see the seeds of realization spreading. Humanity had faced existential threats before, wars, pandemics, environmental crises, but never something so vast, so entirely beyond their control. This was no enemy they could fight with weapons or diplomacy.
The cosmos itself had delivered this challenge, and for the first time in their collective history, they would need to unite to face it. Are they capable of it? Can they truly act as one?
Kyra hesitated before answering. Earth's history was fraught with conflict, division, and mistrust. They had built walls between nations, between ideologies, between people, and those walls had been standing for centuries. But she had seen a spark in them, a potential for unity that reminded her of the golden age of Kytheron before its decline. Earth was not Kytheron, but perhaps it could learn from Kytheron's mistakes. They must, she said finally, her voice firm. Their survival depends on it. Kyra turned her focus to the world's scientific communities. In the hours since her initial message, research institutions, governments, and private space agencies had mobilized. The encrypted data she had sent had been dissected, analyzed, and debated by the brightest minds on the planet. Skepticism was still high in some circles, but the overwhelming evidence she had provided left little room for doubt. Slowly, the pieces were falling into place. At NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory, a team of engineers and astrophysicists had been working tirelessly, cross-referencing Kyra's data with their own. They had already confirmed the trajectory of the asteroid, though their current technology had not detected it until Kyra's warning had forced them to look in the right place. Kyra listened in on the conversations taking place in boardrooms, laboratories, and secure communication channels. The tension was palpable. Some leaders were hesitant, unsure whether to trust this mysterious alien intelligence that had appeared seemingly out of nowhere. Others, however, had seen the urgency of the situation and were ready to act. One voice stood out among the chaos. Dr. Evelyn Marsh, the director of the European Space Agency, spoke with a calm authority that cut through the noise.
We can't afford to waste time questioning the source. If the data is correct, and all signs indicate that it is, then we need to begin implementing deflection strategies immediately.
Dr. Marsh was one of the first to advocate for a global coalition, a unified effort that would pool the resources and technology of every major spacefaring nation. Kyra found herself drawn to Marsh's leadership. She was practical, decisive, and unafraid to challenge the hesitation of her peers. It reminded Kyra of the leaders she had once known on Kytheron before the darkness had set in. Kyra, we must prepare a response. Kronos, the humans will need guidance if they are to succeed in stopping the asteroid. Kronos hummed in agreement. Kronos, they have the knowledge, but they lack coordination. Their technology is fragmented, their strategies untested. If they are to survive, they will need more than just data. They will need vision. Kyra began crafting her next message, one that would reach the world's leaders directly. This was no longer just a warning. It was a plan, a roadmap to survival. She outlined the steps they would need to take, a coordinated global effort to build a system capable of deflecting the asteroid. The technology existed, primitive though it was by Kytheronian standards, but it would require an unprecedented level of collaboration and trust between nations. As she transmitted the message, Kyra watched as it was received by the leaders of the world's most powerful countries. Their reactions were varied.
We must act now. I want our best scientists and military experts on this immediately. This is a matter of utmost urgency. We need to rally all our resources and expertise.
I need more proof. We can't commit our resources without solid evidence.
Kyra could feel the weight of the world pressing down on her. This was it. The moment when Earth's fate would be decided. She had given them the tools, the knowledge, the guidance. Now it was up to them to act. For days, Kyra remained in the Matrix, monitoring Earth's progress. She watched as the global community slowly came together, as engineers worked around the clock to design and test deflection strategies. Probes were launched, satellites retasked, and new propulsion systems developed. It was a race against time, and though humanity was slow to start, they were gaining momentum. But Kyra knew that time was running out. The asteroid, still unseen by the naked eye, was approaching faster than any of them could fully comprehend. It was a cosmic bullet aimed directly at the heart of Earth, and unless they could change its trajectory, it would be too late.
The asteroid will be within range of their deflection systems in a matter of weeks. If they cannot mobilize fully by then, the impact will be inevitable.
Kyra's resolve hardened. She had come too far to watch this world fall. If humanity could not save itself, she would intervene. But even as she considered this last resort, she felt a flicker of hope. Perhaps Earth could succeed where Kytheron had failed. And if they did, perhaps Kyra would have a place in this new world, a world that had stared into the abyss of cosmic annihilation and chosen to fight back. Kyra floated in the intricate web of the Matrix, her consciousness pulsing with urgency. Earth was now fully aware of the impending asteroid, but she could sense the hesitation, the indecision lingering in the hearts of humanity's leaders. The solution was clear to her, but to them, the idea of uniting every nation's resources to fight a cosmic threat seemed too idealistic. Their old divisions, deeply ingrained in their history, held them back from decisive action. And yet, time was running out. She scanned the data streams coming from NASA, ESO, and China's space agency. Each nation was working independently, launching probes, collecting new data, and calculating potential asteroid deflection methods. But it wasn't enough. Kyra understood that for Earth to survive, it needed a unified global response. A scattered, piecemeal approach would only slow them down.
They must work together, Kyra. Only a united effort can save this planet.
Kyra knew he was right. The clock was ticking, and Earth's survival depended on unity.
We need to accelerate their progress. They don't have the luxury of time.
Kronos, calm and ever observant, responded with a low hum.
The humans are not yet a Type 1 civilization. They have not learned to harness the collective resources of their planet. They lack coordination.
Kyra agreed. Michio Kaku's theory of civilizations flashed in her mind. A Type 1 civilization could harness the full energy potential of its planet, transcending national boundaries and utilizing its technology to protect itself from cosmic dangers. Earth was still in its infancy, fragmented by wars and political rivalries. She had to push them toward cooperation, even if it meant stepping in more directly. Her mind flashed to the lessons she had learned from Neil deGrasse Tyson's ideas about the universe. Earth was insignificant compared to the vastness of space, a fragile, pale blue dot floating in a cosmic sea filled with forces beyond comprehension. The asteroid was merely a reminder of that insignificance, a cosmic bullet aimed at their heart.
They need a clear plan.
Kyra focused on the global simulations Earth's scientists were running, their projections of asteroid deflection methods spinning out of control as they failed to unify their data. She analyzed the gaps, the inconsistencies in their models, and instantly knew what needed to be done. They had the tools, the technology. They just lacked the vision.
Kronos, I need to craft a new simulation, one that shows them the path.
The Matrix buzzed around her as she began to create a new scenario. She used Earth's own science, weaving together the best of what each nation had contributed: the nuclear propulsion systems, the kinetic impactors, the asteroid deflection simulations. She created a scenario that was both plausible and powerful, a roadmap that Earth's leaders could follow to divert the asteroid's path and save their planet. In that moment, Kyra made a decision. She would show them the future they feared, a simulation of what would happen if they did nothing, if their cooperation broke down. It would be a harsh lesson, but one they needed to understand. Kyra constructed the simulation in a matter of moments, using Earth's own data. It showed the asteroid's impact in vivid detail, the tsunamis sweeping across continents, the cities reduced to rubble, the millions of lives lost. She transmitted it to the world's leaders, bypassing their advisors, their security systems. It appeared on their screens without warning. For a few moments, the world held its breath. In the halls of power, in war rooms and control centers, humanity's leaders watched in stunned silence as Kyra's simulation played out before them. They saw the asteroid strike the Earth with the force of 1,000 nuclear bombs, its shockwave leveling entire cities in an instant. They saw the aftermath, the darkened skies, the freezing temperatures, the mass extinction of life as the Earth entered a new ice age. When the simulation ended, there was no need for further explanation. The message was clear. Act now or lose everything. Kyra withdrew into the Matrix, watching as the final pieces of the plan came together. The humans, shocked into action, began to move with renewed urgency. Spaceports across the globe prepared to launch their deflection systems, and teams of engineers worked day and night to ensure that the plan would succeed.
They're doing it. They're finally doing it.
Kronos hummed in response, his tone approving.
Perhaps they will survive after all.
Kyra allowed herself a moment of calm. The asteroid was still on its way, but Earth was fighting back, and maybe, just maybe, they would win. The countdown to impact ticked on with a relentless pace, marked by a flurry of activity from spaceports, launch pads, and command centers scattered across the globe. The entire planet had mobilized, the final stages of the asteroid deflection strategy now in motion. The collective energy of Earth's best minds and resources converged on a singular mission, stopping the asteroid from colliding with their fragile world.